Welcome back to the Morgan State University Engineering channel. In this video, I'll be demonstrating how to use the cin function in C++. This video will be helpful to students in C++, EEGR 161, or anyone else interested in C++ programming. The cin function allows you to input data back into your program, basically the opposite of cout, which allows you to display data in your program. So let's get started. In this tutorial, I'll be talking about how to use the cin function, which allows you to put input into your program. So let's go ahead and get started. So just like we did the hello world, we're going to pound include iostream. And then from there, I'm going to do the same thing using namespace std. This is generally how most of your programs are going to be set up. Then we're going to do int main parentheses. Then we're going to have our curly brackets that we talked about in the first tutorial. Bring it down, and then like I told y'all before, I like to start off with return 0 semicolon. Alright, so let's get started. First, we're going to follow the same format that we did in the hello world program, where we're going to display hello world. So that means we have to use our cout, then less than sign, then followed by parentheses hello world, and then another two less than signs, ENDL semicolon. Alright, so because I want the user to be able to input something, the thing I want them to input is I'm going to want them to put in their name. So we're going to put in cout, and we're going to display on the console right underneath hello world for the user to enter the name. Please enter name. So we're going to put two less than signs followed by ENDL again, and there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the opposite of cout, which displays stuff, is cin, which takes in stuff for your program. So let's go ahead and take in the user's name. So we're going to do cin, and instead of having the less than signs, we're going to have greater than signs. Two greater than signs, because cout and cin are the opposite of each other. And then we're going to have a string or variable or something that represents the person's name. So for that, I'm just going to use name. So that's where the person will put in their name. That's what you're telling the computer. Cin, take in the person's name. And so we have to identify name though. So to do that, I'm going to use string, which allows you to use multiple characters as an input. So I'm going to write string and then name semicolon. String, which is the function that you're telling it, okay, I'm going to input some multiple characters, which is going to be the name, which is the person's name. So now you have your cin, the person's name there. And then right underneath that, we want to see back out, cout, nice, with the semicolons, nice to meet you. Now I'm going to need a space, and then I'm going to have two less than signs, and then I want to display the person's name, and then ENDL. So basically what this program says is it's going to start off hello world, parentheses ENDL, then I'm sorry, not parentheses, it's going to say hello world, then right underneath it, it's going to say please enter name. Right underneath that, the person is going to enter their name and press enter. Once they do that, the computer will then display on the console, nice to meet you, name, which is going to be the person's name. So if their name is Bob, it'll say nice to meet you, Bob, and then that'll be the end of the program. So I'm going to go ahead and build this project. Sorry for the slow computer. Alright, and then let's make our console bigger so you can see everything that's going to happen. And then I'm going to compile and run the program. Come on. You see, here we go. Hello world, please enter name. So I'm going to enter a name. Let's say my name is John. I'm going to enter John. When I enter John, it should read back the statement that we wrote. And there it is. Nice to meet you, John. So that's the end of that. That's all the program does. It just says back to you, nice to meet you, John. So let's recap on what we did. Let's go ahead and maximize this. So we wrote a program which included the IOStream library, which allowed us to use our cin and cout function, cout here, cin there. Then we made a string. A string is like a variable, but for multiple characters instead of just a one character variable like X. It's a multiple character variable like a name or like a place, anything. It could be anything. It depends on how you want, what you want the string to be identifying. So then from there we displayed on the console. So we hit cout hello world the same way we did it in the first video. Then right underneath that, we cout and put please enter name. Then underneath that, our next part of the program was for the user to be able to enter their name. So for that, we did cin. Now remember, these are greater than signs now, and then name, followed by a semicolon. Then we displayed again. We used the cout function to display nice to meet you name, whatever the person's name, which we use John. Now notice right here on my parentheses, I have a space in between nice to meet you, space, then the end quotation marks, and then name. If I didn't, this is what would happen. The name and the U would be combined. So let's go ahead and compile that to show you what that would look like. So go ahead and make this bigger. Compile, run program. Hello world, please enter name. Now watch when I enter my name. John. You see, nice to meet you, John. Nice to meet you, John. That's not right. So what? To compromise for that, we had to put the space in between here, which allowed us to display instead nice to meet you and then John.